mean anything for the teams, but how much do Rampage want a victory? How hungry are they? 0-5. It really does tarnish the record to finish the tournament 0-6. They may take this legit.
And they've been completely opposite this tournament. Direwolves, shaky start, only ramping up to become stronger and stronger, especially when the games did not matter. Rampage, complete opposite. Their first 2 games looked amazing. And then it was just all downhill from there after their final match against the Direwolves on day 1.
I mean, the real tragedy as well is if you contrast Group A and B and you think that Group A is stronger, there's a chance that you put either of these teams in the opposing group, they might have been able to take out more victories, but as it stands, here we are.
And unfortunately, we have a couple of animals being banned from the zoo already, as a catfish, as well as a hamster, and a tree as well for good measure being taken off the table. Talon is the final ban that came up from Rampage, target towards Fantix, who's had 2 games on the champion already in this tournament. Bran and Lee Sin have been banned out by the Direwolves.
Yep, they've definitely banned a type of sandwich. So we're going to have the Graves locked in first from Rampage.
Type of sandwich? Where'd the sandwich
BLT.
go? Oh, BLT.
Are you alright?
Oh, goodness sake. Graves has been locked in for Rampage. I said jungle of choice. I'm moving on from that. Karma is going to be the support of choice for Destiny, who has been playing much better since he's been taken off the Lulu, as you suggested, Rusty.
Yep, unfortunately this time around, they do still have to concede the Graves, and that is the big one that stands out. You will still get a good bottom lane here from the Direwolves. It's nice to see them break away from the Ezreal. They will still commit to the Karma. We're not going to see the Lulu, as you mentioned, for reasons before.
And this means that Rampage do have a chance to pick up, Ashe with another support, or even potentially go towards the Caitlyn Lulu.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the Lulu themselves, right? If Karma's the higher preference here from the side of the Direwolves, the choice is still there. The pick of the litter for the bottom lane duo for Rampage is still going to be present. They know what they're against, and they can pick accordingly.
Still a ton of AD carries to go through. Ashe has been banned out throughout most of the tournament. Have only seen a couple of games of her. Caitlyn's only the pick to go with Lulu, but instead, Yutori is going to be picking up Lucian as his bottom lane pick of choice.
Yeah, going for the Lucian. He knows it is against a Karma, and he knows it is against a Varus. Not exactly the best duelist champion against Karma is going to be Lucian, but if you're a really good player, you've got a lot of confidence in your support here. So Yutori, you're going to be trusting Dara, and it's a lot of the onus, honestly, does fall towards Yutori to make the trades, but to have the Lulu supporting.
Final pick is going to be for the Direwolves, and they lock in Fizz. Nice and early, should be Chippy's top lane champion pick of choice, but can be flexed for Fantix if he really wants to.
Absolutely.
Which means Jungle Pool could be pinched quite heavily here by Rampage if they choose to do so.
Yeah, Ivern, Lee Sin taken away, Graves already locked in. One team has a jungler. It does make sense to start banning junglers perhaps away from their opponents, but does it matter what you take away from Shanfire? Do they even know what he's capable of playing? Kha'Zix is still there, Elise is still there. You can branch out from that point and play some different champions.
And I think that's what the 2 bans would be if they were going towards Jungle Pool bans, but instead, Rampage have gone for an Echo ban to kick things off against Fantix, which means Syndra is potentially on the table here unless Direwolves decide to ban it out.
And in the back of my mind, Galio is still a champion that we need to look at through the rest of this draft phase. Yes, there's a high chance that mid laners should be focused here with the Taliyah, taking away champions that Ramune has looked very good on. But just keep that Galio in the back of your mind.
Taliyah was the first ban that came out from the Direwolves as well. 20 seconds for Rampage to pick up their final ban here against the Wolves, and Syndra is that ban of choice. It's interesting after banning out Echo.
Now we expect a jungler to be locked in here by the Direwolves in response. They shouldn't have to reveal if the Fizz is a flex. It could go mid, it could go top, but you never really know where they're going to go with this one. They might want to counter pick, which doesn't make sense. It's already locked in, the jungler.
Let's see what the pick of choice is going to be for the Direwolves. Mid lane and jungle most likely the 2 left picks here, as Orianna is picked up for Fantix in the mid lane. So this should be a top lane Fizz. I mean, seen crazy things of Shanfire picking up, but with that Ignited Teleport, it's definitely going to be Fizz heading into the top lane.
Just means there's a higher priority on taking the Orianna away from Rampage. So by locking in the Ori, they ensure that there isn't another shield that can go on and can protect Yutori Moyasi on his Lucian. Instead, though, they will go the assassin route.
And there's that Galio pick coming out for Rampage as the final pick of choice. That will be Evi's champion in the top lane against Fizz.
And this is my favorite duo, honestly, watching it happen on Summoner's Rift, is Ahri locked in with Galio as the second rotation. They change it up a little bit, and that combo is so aggressive, it always goes forwards, and it's just great to watch, honestly, unfold.
Still waiting to see what the final pick for the Direwolves is going to be. Is a jungler for Schönfire, most likely. Kha'Zix or Elise really makes the most sense for the team. And Kha'Zix it is for Schönfire. Going to go aggressive in the final game for the team at MSI.
Yeah, Elise further down the magic damage route. They've already got a Fizz, Orianna, and a Karma, so they choose a bit more physical damage, honestly, for Schönfire. The Kha'Zix doesn't have the same amount of crowd control. It doesn't necessarily have the wave clear that a Graves does from the side of Tussle here for Rampage, but can go from red, can get a good leash on the Raptors if he wants, and try and keep up with the early stages. It's more what happens with the first gank, or does he even get a gank off?
Yep, so unfortunately not too many animals in this game for Vedius, just a fish, a bug, and half a fox as well in there.
And a Gargoyle?
Gargoyle? Yeah, that's more of a stone, I guess.
Yeah, it's not really an animal. It's an animated object.
Yeah, so Vedius doesn't get his zoo today. Maybe come back tomorrow. Might happen. But it seems like both the teams are taking it fairly serious into this last game. They both really want to pick up a win. Almost as if they still have something to prove. They don't want to go out on a loss here. Rampage definitely want to pick up a win. They had chances to do so against some of the top teams in this group, but dropped it both times in day one. Direwolves completely shaky start, looking to try and turn that around with 2 wins here today.
And that's the thing, right? Like, both of these teams do still have something to prove for their own regional pride. Rampage definitely want to win. They want to be on the board, and Direwolves at least have a better second half showing. 2 wins on the second round of the tournament does still speak strongly of them as a team right now. So coming into this game, you'd expect something a little bit more aggressive, but not in the crazy aggressive route that we saw from game number 5 just before.
Best part about this is we've already seen the crowd cheer for both these teams once today, but I have a feeling most of the audience will be behind Rampage today to try and get some revenge against the Direwolves, who are able to play spoiler and knock out the Red Canids from this tournament. As we do head on to Summoner's Rift for the 6th and final game of today.
Yeah, I think unfortunately the Direwolves have made some temporary enemies of the Brazilian fans at the moment just because they eliminated the side. So we'll see where they cheer, hopefully for everybody. We know the crowd in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, is honestly fantastic. They just love League of Legends as much as we do.
They certainly do. But we are on to the Rift for this final match, and already Rampage invading quite aggressively in towards the Raptor camp of the Direwolves red side of the jungle, just getting a very early ward down on towards the Raptors.
Yeah, it looks like they're actually collapsing. They have been spotted, as the observers have just showed us, with the ward there, so Direwolves getting some early vision, and a little bit more.
Schönfire is going to get jumped on here, taking quite a bit of damage. Tussle has been sped up. Pops Schönfire's potions. Both of them have been used here.
And it's at 120 into the game, so there's no option to actually recall here. He'll use both of those potions. He'll go over and start in the jungle, most likely spotted by, again, Rampage's vision. Speaking of vision, they don't have any of the Direwolves right now as they are watching these Raptors.
So Tussle's going to get a nice leash. Here they go. Tussle going to take quite a bit of damage here. Does hit level 2.
He managed to get every single one of those next to a Varus and a Karma hitting him. That's a lot of health. That's basically the potion difference between junglers eradicated, but they don't get the experience they wanted.
Thank you very much, King and Destiny. Your job is done. We thank you for leashing the jungle. That was not quite what you were meant to do, but oh well.
I mean, they got a lot of damage onto Tussle. Destiny made some bank with his Spell Thieves.
Quite a big leash as well. They had Ari, they had Galio, all the way from top lane.
That is true.
Giving a lot of help towards Tussle, who is, I mean, the team that's built around this jungle. It makes sense that everyone's piling on in to help him.
Bottom lane's definitely one of the places to look, though, for the Direwolves when they win. They usually win bottom.
Yutori's able to hit level 2 nice and early against King and Destiny. Dashes in, gets a good trade against King. We did check in with the top side of the map, though. Galio against Fizz. Fairly even right now. Both of them starting with Corrupting Potion, but always remember, Fizz does take Ignite on the Summoner's Rift. That's a lot of damage onto Ramune. Again, King trading with Yutori here. This time a little bit better.
Yeah, of course, the Lucian being the aggressor, trying to make sure that he's able to put down the preliminary amounts of damage, as Schönfire is in an epic battle with a jungle camp.
Blue Buff's not happy. He will be able to take this one down with these, though. Loses quite a bit of his health. Did get a decent clear throughout the jungle, and now looking to see if he can take down Scuttle Crab as well.
Yeah, look, he got a decent clear, but it means that his health's going to be lacking just based on how he had to start in the jungle himself. You compare that to Tussle, walking right now, invading, completely full health with double buff. Shern's relying on that red buff regeneration, to get him up to scratch. It is working, and he is coming down towards bottom lane right now.
So Tussle goes to take down Krugcamp, and Schönfire wants to make an impact into this lane. Destiny flashing on forward, exhausts Yutori, does not get the second proc on the tether. Now Schönfire's going to jump in onto Tara, burning another flash. They try to turn around. Schönfire is very low. Yutori now going back on in.
They are winning this trade 2v3 right now, Rampage. They forced Direwolf's jungler to go back to base, probably.
But Schönfire makes sure that Rampage blow 4 summoners bottom lane where only Destiny was forced to use his summoners there.
The only unfortunate thing you would have to say, Destiny, you're meant to get the tether on before you flash forwards. You flash and hit the tether. The response from Yutori was to just use his own respectively, and he gets out of the distance. If that latch had connected, then King may have been able to go forwards, be aggressive. You are correct in that only the 2 summoners were used for Direwolf, so that is still a win, but it could have been potentially more.
So we do move into the mid lane where already Fantix is pushing out quite aggressively. Evie has a massive minion wave that will crash on towards Chippy's turret. Dodges out the uppercut coming out from Evie, who slowly walks the wave into the turret itself. Yutori still being aggressive in this bottom lane. King does get 3 procs from his W, but poked out quite hard here by Yutori.
Yeah, there's no potions left for King, to be honest. They're both starting long swords. Yutori does still have pots with the long sword of his own, so he's in a strong position, a winning position in the 2v2 in this lane, and this is where Destiny comes into play. He's got some mana, not a lot of health, but enough mana to try and help secure the minion wave control, or at least reset it so they can't get damage to structures, allow Direwolves to go back to base, reset one more time.
None of these players have potions down at the bottom lane now, except for Destiny, who still has 1 biscuit. But Rampage, Tussle, as well as Ramune, now trying to make their way in towards Schönfire's jungle. Ari has yet to be spotted, but will head back towards the mid lane.
Yeah, Graves also accruing a pretty nice CS advantage. This all comes back to how the game started, remember, but by being able to stay full health, go through the jungle clear, Schönfire also wasting some time, so to speak, with a gank in the bottom lane. Means that you would expect Graves hit 6 first with the big CS advantage. She should actually break away with an item lead, Tussle. And as he hits 6, he will die.
Destiny missed the Q there, so did not spot out that Yutori and Dara were baiting them to push out. We get a good chunk of damage on towards King. Again, making sure that if he does go back to base, it's going to be a bad and awkward position for his wave, as well as the fact that now he has to sack a lot of CS in this lane.
And this is a cannon wave, and so he doesn't want to go back to base for this one. But having the heal, having the summoner advantage means that he's in a position where he can be slightly more risky, mostly because Schönfire is going to be nearby to actually stop any kind of gank out of Tussle. That's what counts the most.
In the first game we saw the Direwolves play today, they did have a prolonged 3v3 bottom lane with both junglers trying to help out their AD carries, but this time around with Graves top side of the map, Schönfire could have gone down, decided not to. So it might be Tussle who now helps out the Rampage bottom lane.
And we're just waiting for that first little break point out of both of these teams. We've seen the laning start so far out of Chippies and Evie. There's not a lot of damage that can really be done to each other up there. We've seen the jungle advantage ever so slightly towards Tussle, but Schönfire has tried to gank. Was not successful. Mid lane, lots of pressure. Fantix has had control of the minion wave, but that starts to actually be removed a little bit as time goes on. So right now we watch junglers, we watch if supports get some freedom, some time to roam around the map perhaps, and actually make a difference.
Tussle was spotted out by Ward as he blast code over the side of that Dragon Pit. Zevi does get locked down by Chippies, ignites it as well. Wants to go for the kill, and Schönfire is up here as well. Easy first blood picked up by the Direwolves.
No flash used by Evie. The fish connects. I think he disrespected the damage cutting out of that Fizz just a little bit more. Surprisingly enough, Chippies gets Fizz again, and now he's able to work with Schönfire, secure that kill. This is the duo of the Direwolves, allowed to be the duo that has given them wins.
And unfortunately, the only saving grace is that Chippies did not pick up that kill, so the double rings aren't going to stack as fast. Navi will be forced to use teleport to get back into lane here. Chippies will be happy to walk on back.
Fighting mid lane.
Picked up as Fantix has been jumped up by Ramune. Tussle throws out the ultimate as well. That does not connect. Schönfire is waiting just in case he tries to dash aggressively forward again. But instead, just pushes in the wave, make sure it resets in Ari's favor.
Was a summoner spell trade ultimately with ultimates also used by Ramune and Fantix? The difference being that Tussle threw out the collateral damage trying to find the cheeky kill towards the end there. He doesn't find it, and so now there's just 2 ultimates used, and still, only the 1 kill to be seen, but that is advantage to Direwolves, mostly because, again, the CS lead that Tussle had doesn't matter anymore. First blood is a bigger deal. Pressure in the top lane too, actually, something that needs to be noted.
Oh,
Bottom.
ultimate down towards Yutori, level 5 to level 6. Dara dashes on in as Lucian's hits 6 as well, gets the culling leveled up. King down to below half health, and Destiny in some trouble. Well, it looked like a good position for the Direwolves. Bottom lane turned disastrous as Yutori picks up a level.
Threatening a dive, perhaps, with Tussle being nearby, but he's immediately spotted, so good awareness from the Direwolves to try and keep that from happening. The second blue buff is the real reason that Tussle was invading, though. Going for the dive would have been rather opportunistic. We're still starting to see more signs of aggression, more opportunities for these teams to start hitting structures.
King trying to regenerate as much health as possible. Does have that vamp sector as well as the recurve bow. Decides not to go for the the Bilgewater Cutlass, which we do see picked up by Yutori instead.
Yeah, opting more towards the attack speed route, so trying to get more of the on-hit procs with his spell usage to match some trades, perhaps equalizing the spell trading that a Lucian would excel at. Has the natural attack speed bonus anyway, Yutori on the Lucian, with the double tap. Could be a way of compensating, could just be a personal preference.
Both junglers also donate blue buff over towards their respective mid laners. Fantix and Ramune have been very even in this mid lane. Trading summoner for summoner from time to time. Chippies moves back up into the top lane. He's yet to go back to base after picking up his phage, but has sent Evie back another time. Immediately going for the Ninja Tabbies to make sure he can mitigate a lot of the damage that will come out from King, Shernfire, and Chippies.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a fair amount of mixed damage that comes out of Chippy, so rushing the armor boots doesn't outright save him, but he is a Galio who has a giant shield of magic damage that is just going to be there passively on his kit, the blue health there. So he can go towards armor and still have enough magic, perhaps damage absorption, that he'll be okay in these trades, and it's definitely built for the team composition, as you mentioned.
Chippies will slowly push in that lane again, heads back to base. There's a deep wall bottom, so there's always a chance that Direwolves pull the trigger and go for a heavy dive. Fantix gonna get jumped on by Ramune, trying to dodge out the charm, still holding on to it. Doesn't even need to use it because the brute force of Rampage is enough.
Yeah, fortunately for Fantix in particular, very well done from Rampage. Hold the charm and you'll make somebody juke until they die for it. So basically ran into Rampage to try and sombrero shockwave. Doesn't have the flash. Well executed, honestly, from the Ahri and the Graves.
And there you go, 6 men on the side of the Rampage here, as expected. It was silent when Direwolves picked up first blood, but they want revenge for what happened to the Red Cannons. And Direwolves looking like they want to try and feed the crowd almost, make sure they get that revenge at least today.
Not a lot of people are raising their koalas right now because they played spoilers. Rampage finally getting a kill back on the board, having a slight gold advantage, setting themselves up a little bit more cleanly in this game. This isn't a Red Cannon supermassive show match. This is actually a game. Feels like it means a lot.
Oh, Evie, they're getting dived here by Chippies. A very easy solo kill, and even shouts of no coming out from the crowd as he dies.
A tragedy for Evie. This is the second death of the game for him. The first one involves Shernfire, but only barely. The second one now just Chippies of his lonesome, able to secure that. That is a big fizz that is going to start rampaging around the rift. Ignore that pun. I did not mean that.
All right, if you say so.
We get to see
that
the
kill on the top lane.
Anyway, Chippies honestly is just bad enough at this point. Grasp the Undying proc also going to be there, and as he charges, just stopped short, hit an invisible wall called Death.
Now Yutori looking to get some good damage on towards King in the bottom lane. Chips him down to about 250 health. Dara and Yutori have been having a fine time in this lane. Yutori is 20 CS up.
Whoa, he got it.
Trying to pull the trigger onto Yutori here. Shernfire down in this lane. Destiny will exhaust him. Good wild growth from Dara. Keeps his AD carry safe.
Yep, 2 summoner spells used, the ultimate also. So Rampage's bottom lane 2v2-wise may not have as much pressure. However, the damage was done onto King. He doesn't have a lot of health to his own name. No ultimate himself, so there'll be a recall out of the Varus after clearing this set of minions. And we get to reset. Compliments of Shernfire simply just being down here. For what it's worth, still good movements out of the Direwolves jungler at the right place at the right time. We'll get spotted by mid lane minions though.
And still in this mid lane, it was dead even, but Ramune has created a CS lead for himself, even though it's 1 and Sorry, I was about to say it's 2-1 in favor of Rampage, but it's 1-2 in favor of the Direwolves, which does kind of tell us why the goal is still even between these two teams, despite CS leads mid and bottom.
But where you look at where the favor actually lies, it is towards the top side of the map for the Direwolves, whereas the bottom lane is still doing quite well, as well as Ramune in this middle lane on the Ahri. So there's still strong points to work around.
Good taunt coming out from Evie there.
Still wins the trade. Actually quite well.
He's got a couple of items picked up now already.
That's the thing with Galio, a lot of base damage. For someone who builds all resistances, Vision next.
Shernfire's top side of the map. There is a flash available for Evie. Does taunt up Chippies, but not Shernfire. Suddenly Tussle joining the fight as well. Throws out the collateral damage. Shernfire is low. Evie throws out the tornado, but it's not enough. Smokescreen as well. Uppercut into the fish. And Chippy's playful tricksters out of this taunt as well. Blue suede shoes from the Direwolves.
Unfortunate stuff for Evie though, flashing forwards, trying to throw down the tornado, not locking the kill, but as you can hear, it's still a positive sign and the crowd seems to be happy about it.
Direwolves though, going for a 3-man gank bottom lane. It's a surprise King, Destiny and Phantics, but the chains whiff, the field goal is good, and Rampage get a free turret top lane.
Exactly right, it means they get the structure, it also means Orianna has to go back and deal with mid lane. Not a lot to speak of here for the Direwolves in a good way, not at all.
However, this trade's going down in the bottom lane while Ramune is already working on this turret. Seems like King's gonna fall straight away. We can't quite look at the action. What's going on?
Apparently a kill as they are still going. Chippies is also down here. They want you, Tori.
Yeah, teleports as well. No ultimate available for Chippies, but does have Ignite. Decides not to chase any further forward after using that playful trickster. So Rampage take down King there.
They get one, they get out. They're able to actually just secure that one cleanly. So once again, credit to the bottom lane of Rampage in what was basically just the 2v2, responding to the fact that Phantics was down there. He leaves lane, and just like this, the action goes forward. King doesn't have the ultimate, gets turned into a critic. Good awareness from Dara. Does not use it to empower the attack speed of the Lucian because you don't need to with the double tap. So use it offensively, take down some bad guys.
Dara and Yutori dashing together at the exact same time in order to pick up that kill against King and Destiny. The synergy between these two is phenomenal. And King and Destiny, again, kind of defaulting back to the poor synergy they had at day one.
Junglers are about to collide, it looks like. Shern knows. Oh,
Shern goes for it.
Oh, he wants it.
Invisible, gets half his health in damage, goes invisible again.
Oh.
Easy pickup for Shernfire. Tussle didn't even know what hit him.
Evolves the Q, comes in invisible as well. The ward able to spot out where Tussle is. Did not expect Shernfire to actually go forwards, it seems. And now another kill onto this Kha'Zix. He is well and truly evolving into a massive carry.
We see Direwolves initiate a lane swap against Rampage as well, sending King, Destiny, and the rest of the squad towards top side of the map, looking to take down this top lane outer.
It was matched by Rampage. They've acknowledged this is where they want to be, but they've been completely cut off because, again, the Graves has gone down. So this forced lane swap out of Direwolves is the correct move. It takes longer for Evie to get the structure down. You'd have to expect that he does. Chippies doesn't have teleport. It's just going to be a slow, arduous process. This is where you actually look at the Direwolves and you say, is there an extra trade you can make? Is there something you can get to just get a lead from this? Or are we just trading the same thing?
Seems like they're just going to trade. Evie still has teleport and Chippies was forced to recall to pick up this wave later on.
Now, Rift Herald was definitely something they could have looked at, but it's not that worth it if they really wanted to go for it. You know, 17 minutes is a good time in the game, perhaps, to commit to it.
And there's something about this Brazilian crowd and cheering for top laners because Evie's getting a lot of cheers for picking up a turret.
It's Evie in particular. They like Evie. What a bloke.
Big gargoyle, massive fan.
A cracker of one.
Rampage still have a small gold lead for themselves in this match, but 18 minutes in, not that big of a lead.
Yeah, still damage item spikes on the side of Direwolves as well. Trinity Force Stun, Warrior's Enchantment, Morello's, Blade of the Ruined King. All of these items are a really good timing for fighting. If you were the Direwolves, yes, there is a slight edge for Rampage, but is that enough when the items are still there?
They have swapped again. Will Romani find them out? Chippy sees them, gets a shield from Destiny. Swift might have spotted them out. The evolved Spice will slow down Rampage as he is trying to work on this turret. Evie still has teleport. Rampage currently have numbers advantage because Phantics has yet to rotate.
He was nearby, but not quite enough. Yutori was also near the middle lane, so the The numbers advantage was null and void. They're still pressuring, they're still looking towards this. Schönfire hits level 11 and does not go towards those wings. Just wants to kill people and slow them down with his Void Spikes.
Evie does it again, continues pushing top side of the map. Make sure the mini wave crashes into the turret. Chippies will head up there and collect what is remaining of that CS, and his teleport will be back up shortly. So the map is well and truly reset at the moment, with the only thing really separating the two teams is that single kill that's in the Direwolf's favor.
Oh, hello.
The turret that's incredibly low. Evie fancies a piece of Schönfire, gets the uppercut and the ground and pound as Yutori
He's in a bit of
tries
trouble.
his best. Here comes the Gargoyle though, knocks him back up. Shockwave brings back two, but Yutori avoids it. And he's able to take down Chippies.
Tussle kill King.
What just happened? Rampage just tore apart the Direwolves across the map.
Fantix actually just like hit orbit with the height of that Galio. They want Destiny.
No, Destiny flashing over the pit, but finds a wild Zara. Tries to tether him, but Tussle's there to take him down. And Japan looking to try and get revenge for the Red Cannons.
So PL side just randomly play all they're going.
Oh no, Fantix is next. Uppercut from Evie. Yutori trying to dash on in, takes a bit of damage, and the Fox is trying to slide away in as well. Tussle is there. The whirlwind comes through. One more uppercut would be enough, but it's the shotgun from Tussle that gets a killing spree.
And he gives it over to his jungler. Now they siege the middle lane turret. Schönfire's top lane, no response going to be there. Could even be the Drake afterwards if they choose. Once again, it's not just Evie this time, it's Rampage that they're chanting. We get to see how this kill happens in the bottom lane. Note that Tussle's also coming down. Ramune had used his ultimate already, but he's still hitting everything. Pretty much a solo 1v2 kill there from the Ahri. Homage to the crowd.
And still, again, no idea what King and Destiny were trying to do down in that bottom lane. King was taking damage for free, trying to move up towards a turret. They had no vision of Tussle as well, trying to wrap around the back lines.
Honestly, your guess is as good as mine. They just really want the turret. The tenacity of the OPL side, if nothing else, is admirable. They've set themselves a win condition, and they still want it.
You say, I say a bit silly here, but they're trying to dive in on towards Evie. It's been about 10 seconds. He's only taken half his health with damage, but will eventually fall as it takes 3 members of the Wolfpack.
Meanwhile, pushing mid lane. They still want to get the structures themselves. Now we're trading mid lane inners for bot lane outers. Not exactly the ideal scenario.
Fantix trying to clear out the wave. Schönfire is here as well. The charm connects. That's going to be a bug that gets squashed. And Fantix misses the shockwave on top of that.
Just skirts around the rim of the shockwave. They're still looking towards mid lane, but finally reinforcements have arrived from Direwolves. Fantix, even though he doesn't have the shockwave, might have enough wave clear to actually prevent the turret, but it's unlikely.
Doesn't seem like it. Yutori's going to dash on in aggressively as well. Charm connects. Ramune gets good damage down. Fantix is dead. Tussle from Rampage is on a rampage.
And Ramune does not miss a charm at all. Yutori actually slowing him down with Blade of the Ruined King, so sets it up, but Ahri knocks it down. So fantastic stuff out of the Rampage roster.
Not only revenge for themselves, but for this home crowd that keep cheering them on.
They want to win.
The screens. They want Rampage to win. Rampage wants to win. And again, this entire performance for the OPL team has just been such an up and down. One game they look phenomenal, taking down the second best team in the group.
Welcome to the Oceanic roller coaster, ladies and gentlemen. Your guess is as good as mine sometimes.
Well, you never know if you can raise your koalas or silently bring them back down.
I like raising koalas.
That we know. We're checking with Yutori now. He's got his Black Cleaver as well as the Blade of Ruined King. Already picked up a massive AD carry at this point in the game. Has a lot of support to help him out with the Galio. You've got Dara as well.
Still big item spikes respectively across from him as well, because as you mentioned, Black Cleaver, Blade of the Ruined King is the big item spike. His 4 went the little bit of a trough in between having to go Kindle Gem, but King still has 2 items himself respectively. The big advantage for me still lies with Ramune, where Fantix has no items really. He's got a Haunting, guys. He's got Sork Shoe, so his base magic penetration will still be there, but the damage of a Death Cap with the Morellos compared to that. If a charm hits, someone dies.
And Rampage have a 4,000 gold lead at the moment. Blade of the Ruined King's going to be picked up by Tussle.
There you go.
Fun item for the Graves.
About the third time, I believe, in just this tournament that we've seen the Graves go for the Blade of the Ruined King build. I personally don't like it that much. I feel like Graves is a champion that benefits more from the raw AD, the raw crit, because of all of his spell abilities scaling really well with them.
Does remind me of the first time Graves was reworked though, where lifesteal was really important on him. Just kept him alive so much longer. Dara's in a sticky situation. That's everything being used by the Direwolves to make sure they can lock down the Rampage support.
Yeah, sticky enough that he does actually die. Direwolves with that pick can start to threaten, but threatening this is impossible if Graves is nearby. Wave clears there. Evie can engage with a flash taunt because the flash is up and ready. So Direwolves have to respect this. Even after Lulu dies, you still feel like Rampage can 4v5 and win.
Chippies is still split pushing for the Direwolves. So he'll slowly push out that wave on the bottom side of that. Now moving up to group with his team, spotted out by wards, placed down by Rampage. And Direwolves
sieging, but Ari has a flank just above them.
They're going in. Shernfire is going to get locked down first. Takes quite a bit of damage, half his health. Chippy's now the next target. Yutori, man-possessed, charging in without fear against the top lane Fizz. Omine though dashes in, dashes out, and misses everything, unfortunately.
Finally showing that gods can bleed. He misses a charm. Still playing extremely well, all things considered. They push Direwolves away from the structure, and Tussle, he wants it.
Got it! Tussle steals red buff from Shernfire.
Oh, and he's not done.
Now he wants Shernfire. Come back here, you bug! I want to squish you! We'll have Chippies there to try and help him out. Dara gives him the wild grove, turns Chippies into a critter. And Shernfire's just baited his top laner into dying.
And like a good cooking show fish, here's a wave they prepared earlier. They're going to siege the top lane structure, coinciding with a red steal, with forcing Shernfire to base, and with Chippies going down. This is very well executed.
Here comes the Gargoyle. Evie looking for the taunt, just narrowly misses King and Destiny, and takes absolutely no damage for trying to go for that initiation.
King opting not to use his ultimate to secure him either. They would not have been able to kill Evie, especially with Dara nearby to shield him up and all of the damage surrounding him. As Evie's got a good position here.
Gets the taunt onto Shernfire, uppercut as well. Yutori gets the latter end of the culling, but doesn't deal enough damage there. We did check in with the goal. You can see 2,000.
Oh,
never know, body. Yutori's going to go down. Evie does come in and get a good knockup, but suddenly the Direwolves are going to collapse. Yutori does flash over the wall.
Oh, he jumped into the fish.
He's still going to get chased down here, but Direwolves not going to be able to get to the blast cone in time. Chippies is able to take it down. Now Direwolves might be able to swing this one around if they can get Baron.
The irony of Justice Punch as well, jumping backwards before forwards into a Fizz as Rampage have revealed themselves.
Now it's time for the crowd to channel their inner Napon and allow Tussle to come in for the steal. He's going in. Can he do it? Direwolves are low. Ramune's going in. One by one, the Wolves are being torn apart. Barrett does get picked up by Shernfire, but can they escape? 3 members are dead. Fancies this nest. Shernfire's turned into a critter, but Rampage just concede the jungle and allow him to live to fight another day.
4 dead, but 1 Baron buff still remains from the Direwolves. However, credit where it's due to Rampage. They still come in, get those kills, and even with their top laner missing, they get the fight that they're after. They have the inside track. They can try and utilize this window of opportunity where people are dead from Direwolves to try and take down some structures.
Shernfire going back in for immunity, even though Dara is close by. Rumine first a flash away. Shernfire's going to go back here, but here comes Yutori. Pew, 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 pew. Takes him down and squashes the bug.
Yeah, Lucian, right place, right time. Picks up a blue buff for his troubles, and again, minion wave set up on the bottom lane. Rampage are doing pretty much everything right, barring a single pick, which gives Direwolves the Baron. But one mistake doesn't actually result in... Okay, he's going.
Wants blood. Gets the fish on towards Dara. Redemption's coming out as well, but Yutori is trying to defend Dara with his life. Dashes back into the team. Evie's here as well. Uppercut through the playful Trickster. Destiny's going down. Dara saves Yutori. King can't quite land that arrow. Now he's stuck here as Evie charging up the taunt, making sure he can't get anywhere closer.
And you know there's no chance of killing that Galio when you are by yourself, so King has to let it go, even with his ultimate available. We get to see the fight again. Charms do not miss from Ramune when it matters. And Tussle unfortunately gets pushed out of the pit, he's too low. So the Baron is going to be secured. If Tussle was able to be forwards, perhaps be there. His smite was up, his smite was available. And Dara, good awareness. Once again, always using his W, always polymorphing people forwards instead of empowering his allies. He knows what his role is in this team.
Fantix needs a QSS. He was charmed by Rumune twice in that fight. Wants to kick it off.
Fantix needs more than a QSS at this stage.
He's got some pretty decent items. Looking for a Void Staff next. But look at Schoenfeld trying to see if he can assassinate Rumune twice here. Now no teammates to help the Ari out, but pushes in the wave, backs off accordingly.
All of the carries from the side of Rampage are fed. That's the important part. Evi's still going to be a big tank on the Galio. Whereas you look at the carries on the side of Direwolves, they've got a 0-4 mid laner. Very unlike Fantix to have a performance such as this. It's not going well for him.
Don't even think, if I'm not mistaken, Direwolves don't even have their Baron buff available anymore after Schoenfeld got taken down.
Yep.
During that time, Rampage were able to pick up a Mountain Dragon for themselves. The second one of this game. The next one as well will be another Mountain Dragon.
Going to be a pretty poor Baron power play, you'd have to imagine when you look at it.
Oof.
Rampage took the exact window of the Baron being taken to kill 4 of them, take down some more structures, an abundance of kills.
And kill Schoenfeld shortly after as well. 6,500 gold loot for Rampage.
Speaking of kills, Schoenfeld, Tussle and Schön are duking it out.
They're going to go for a fight again. Tussle says, all right, fight me. I've got Superman on my side. Shockwave connects on towards 2, but the Direwolves have to retreat towards their redemption after Chippy's fish misses. Ultimate's burned by both teams, but neither side gets an advantage from that fight.
Tussle gets the red buff, so once again they're taking everything away from Schoenfeld, denying him level 16 also, just a little bit by getting these extra camps. So for what it's worth, may not mean a lot, but saves him having the reset.
Oh, Fantix has been jumped on. Tussle deletes him and he goes godlike. That's now Rampage without a power pushing. Oh, Ramuna, you're kidding me! What an absolute legend!
Someone stop this guy. The charms are just incredible from him right now. That's the inhibitor.
This
Rampage,
could be game.
They're still pushing.
They're going for the Nexus turrets. Rampage dropped their game to Direwolves in day 1. They charged Ping. They saw Direwolves take down Red Cannons, the hometown favorites, in the home crowd.
Gotta go, Chippies.
And now with the 6 men on their side, Rampage look to redeem themselves. They look for revenge, not only for themselves, but for Brazil, as they take down the Direwolves.
The crowd still loves them. Rampage, they get on the board. 1 win for Japan. You can see it should be smiles from the team because they get themselves, not just Brazil, a bit of redemption.
And rightfully deserved. After day 1, we said Rampage had 2 great games, almost taking down Supermassive and Red Cannons.
Look at the crowd. They love them.
And now they finally get their justices, taking down Direwolves as well. Finishing off, although last in the groups, with their heads held high once again. And although Direwolves played spoiler, they could not pick up 3 wins at this tournament.
No, they could not. Direwolves came into the tournament confident. We didn't hear a lot from Rampage. They're a quiet, happy team. That's exactly what they are now because the crowd loves them. They have every reason to be smiling. Honestly, bigger credit to Brazil as a crowd being able to support them in that particular time. Such a passionate crowd.
I mean, you have to. Especially in a game like this, doesn't really matter.